Tazewell County this evening, where millions of dollars will flow into the town of Richlands for improvements to stabilize their power grid. Our Robert Castillo sat down with the town manager to talk about how $4 million will be used to lower the costs that town residents pay for electricity.
Richlands is a town that manages its own power grid for their citizens. Municipal leaders have come under fire in recent years over the costs to their consumers. Richlands town manager Jason May says the town was awarded $2 million in grants and $2 million in loans by the Virginia Tobacco Region Revitalization Committee, money that will be used to address the issue. May says the $4 million are earmarked to help the town buy a natural gas generator. The device will enable the town to use local natural gas to create electricity. May says a lot of the infrastructure to do it is already in place.
We're going to be creating electric lines to go from where the generator is placed to our transformers and our grid, but that's only about a half mile that we're having to run new lines. So this is actually going to be able to be a low cost. The most of the cost is actually purchasing the generator.
May says the town wants the generator because energy costs the town pays to move energy into the area have gone up dramatically. He adds, once it's operational, he believes the generator could help stabilize Richlands' rates for electricity.
So we have to pay a toll to be able to get that energy from where it's generated in the Ohio River Valley to here. That toll can oftentimes be as much as the electricity that I'm buying. So by bypassing that transmission, I'm able to generate electricity for about the same amount as what I was buying it for, but now I don't have to pay the toll nor the congestion pricing.
May says the town may end up purchasing a second generator, which would help the town become self-reliant on energy needs.
We're using about between 8 to 12 megawatts worth of power. So if we're able to have two 5 megawatts generators, then we should be able to take care of most of our power needs internally without having to have much of that energy transported from the Ohio River Valley down.
May says the total cost to get the generator up and running is about $14 million. He says the town has funding for just under half of that, but he estimates the generator could be up and running by early 2026. Here for you in Richlands, I'm Robert Castillo, WVVA News.
And May says the purpose of the generator is not necessarily to reduce the amounts that people in Richlands pay for their power. He says it will go a long way towards keeping their electric bills at a steady rate.
And now